Hi folks, it's Ed from Hillgoers here. Just looking to build on our boot clip with some information about crampons and which ones are suitable for hill walking in the winter. So here we have 3 crampons. We have a C1 crampon, a C2 crampon and a C3 crampon. So these crampons will correspond to the B1 boot, the B2 boot and the B3 boot that you heard about in the last clip. So we'll start with the B3. Now this is a crampon that is designed for climbing and mountaineering. As you can see, it has one front point here and the other two have two. And we have a bail here rather than something that's going to come over your toe. We have a clip here at the back where it will clip into the boot. So this is not going to be ideal for walking in Scotland. It's going to be certainly more useful if you're going to be doing climbing or moving on rock. So this brings us to our C2 crampon. So this crampon here, as you can see, has 2 fixed front points. You have a clip here at the back that clips into the heel of the boot. And you have an area that covers your toe and keeps the toe into the crampon. So the C2 crampon is the boot that we would recommend for the winter, and that would correspond to your B2 boot. And finally we've got our C1 crampon. So this is, as you can see, the front is very similar to our C2, the area that covers the toe. But you have rather than a clip at the back, you have this that will connect around the heel of your boot. The boot itself will not have a little lip, and these are used for B1 boots. So when you're looking to purchase your crampons, it's always worth, if you're going into a shop, bring your boot with you to work out which ones are best compatible. And when you have purchased them, before you head out onto the hill, you'll want to adjust the size of the crampon to the size of your boot. And you do this, you definitely want to do this before you head out on the hill, because it can be fairly cold and fairly tricky to do it as you're putting them on. So all you need to do is you lift up this little bit here and just adjust it like that. So when you're attaching your crampon to your boot, you want to be making sure that there isn't much space at the front or the back of the crampon, that the crampon is the same size as going to fit your boot. You're going to want to make sure that your boot itself doesn't have any ice or snow on the bottom of it. So I usually tend to use my axe just to bash out any excess snow away. And you want to make sure there's not going to be a gap between the sole of your boot and the top of the crampon. So this is our B1 boot and our C1 crampon. So the way that it attaches, and this always works better when your foot's in the boot, but we'll try anyway, is so it should fit in nice and snug. Okay, and you have your strap here that you will bring through the toe, making sure that you don't twist your strap, and you'll bring it back through here and then over. And most of the crampons at the moment have these 2 little rings, so you go through both and bring it back through one like that. So you'll see here that you've got quite a long tail for your strap. Now if you're purchasing or using your own crampons, what I would tend to do is maybe snip the end bit off, because you'd already have it calibrated to the size of your boot. And then if you didn't want to do that, you could place it under here with a knot, maybe a couple. You want to make sure that it's not going to be a trip hazard. Okay. something like that. Okay, so no space at the front or the back, it's tied in securely, and there's no gap here between, well, you can see there's a little bit of snow there, but that would be a bit different if you had your foot in your boot, just like that. Okay, so this is our B3 boot and our C3 crampon. You can see the two lips here. So the way this will attach is you have a toe bail which runs over your front notch, and then you simply click in with the rear clip. You can see that that's nice and flush, and then the same as always with your strap. If you haven't got a toe strap to put it through, it tends to just go round the ankle and then back through like so, and you can tidy it up. Just a few of those so it's out of your way, and off you go. Okay, so now we're looking at fitting a B2 boot with a C2 crampon. So you're popping a boot in, making sure there's not a big gap at the front, making sure there's not a big gap at the rear. You're clipping in the rear of the crampon onto that lip there. Okay, and then same as before, you're bringing your strap round through here, making sure it's not twisted, through these two metal loops, and then back through the top one. And there you go.